Hi, I'm Susan Murray, and I'm thrilled to be joining you once again here at the Ingles table. For years, I traveled the world, enjoying an amazing array of foods. Recently, I owned and operated a bed and breakfast where the world came to me, and I cooked for all our wonderful guests. Now I'm on to my next adventure. In my blog, A Woman Cooks in Asheville, I share my taste for the unexpected, both in the dishes I prepare and the city I call home. Asheville is an amazing town, home to eclectic haunts, fantastic farmers markets, great foods, and of course, Ingles. Today, I'm whipping up some fun new treats for you, like my outrageous cookies. Let's get cooking. Okay, so are you ready for some outrageous cookies? I'm not going to tell you why they're called that just yet. You'll find out as we go along, but they are pretty outrageous. First thing we're going to start with is creaming our butters and sugars together, and that's one of those things that you do for most recipes like this. And really the big thing about it is taking enough time with it. And that's where a stand mixer like this comes in just fine. Now I've got 2 sticks of butter in here, which is a cup of butter. This is 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. Brown sugar is the one that you pack into the measuring cup. And this is 3/4 of a cup of just plain white sugar. That one you can just pour into your measuring cup. Put those in there. We're going to start this up here. Now, you need to get a good cream out of this. So it means that this is going to have to just work its magic for a couple of minutes. Sometimes I set the timer and just go off because I find that if I don't, I tend to rush it a little bit. Okay, so our butters and sugars are creamed. You can see they've got a nice look to them here. And now we're going to add one at a time. First thing I'm going to do, is just to kind of scrape down the sides of your mixer. Get all that stuff in. Give it a good scrape like that. And then we're going to add the eggs one at a time. And the idea is to add the eggs one at a time so that they get fully incorporated. And if you're lucky, it's not going to curdle. But I've got to tell you, it really doesn't matter if it does curdle. So if it gets that kind of look that it's a little bit separated, don't worry about that too much. Let that mix in. Hands here. And then when that is mixed in, again, you're just going to scrape your sides down. Give it a good scrape like this. Like this. This is a basic sugar cookie recipe, brown sugar cookie recipe. So you could use this to make like oatmeal cookies or to make, oatmeal raisin or chocolate chip. Pretty much anything you want to add to it. It's really up to you. Again, cooking is all about you and what you love. Right, so we're going to add the second egg right there. Give that a good mix up. And we're just going to wait another second for that to go. Patience in cooking, it's an important thing. And I have to tell you really honestly, patience is not my strong suit. That's why I set a timer lots of times. It stops me when I'm cooking from, turning things over too often and too fast and just all kinds of messes like that. 2½ cups of flour. This is 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. It's going to go in there. And this is 1 teaspoon of baking soda, all right? Now, you just mix it together. It helps it to get incorporated so that you don't get it gets evenly distributed throughout the batter. And that's where we are with that. Put that in here a little bit at a time, and it's probably gonna make a mess, because it does. Whoops, sorry. There we go. Real slow. You want to wait every once in a while just to let it get the machine to get a chance to catch up with you. And again. You can see it's starting to come together into a pretty thick dough. Now this is going to make a very thick dough, so we're going to take it out of this mixer. It'll just make it easier for us, and most people don't have a lovely big professional mixer like this. And the last thing we're going to do is add a teaspoon of vanilla to that. And that goes right there. There. Okay, so let's give that a stop, and we're going to bring it down here. Okay, let's take this off of here and get our batter into a bigger bowl. Okay, move that aside. This big bowl out for us here. And this gives us a chance to reincorporate again some of the flour and things that didn't quite get mixed in. Right, here we go. Now this is your basic cookie dough. From here on, this is invention, all right? So we're going to go with it. Actually, so as I said, I don't have a big mixing like this. You could probably get away with mixing this up in the mixer bowl, but I'm going to put it in one here so you can see it better. Scrape that out real good again. It's all about scraping, isn't it? Okay, so this is the fun stuff. What we did here, this is white cheddar popcorn. Now I took this white cheddar popcorn and I put it in my food processor, and I have to tell you, it kind of makes a mess. This stuff is a little bit like oh, what was I thinking of? Styrofoam. It's like the styrofoam that you get when you go, you open up a package and it goes all over the place. But anyway, we're going to put it in there. That's 3 cups. It's about 5 cups of unpopped popcorn. And I've saved another cup. You'll see we're going to use that later. I think it's around here. There it is. Okay, so we're going to mix that in. See how this is getting real thick? Then this is a half a cup of chopped peanuts. And here we have a good cup of the fairly large chunks of Heath Bar Crunch here. Right, we're going to mix that all up like this, and it's going to take a minute. It's all about strength on this one. And it's easier if you use a wooden spoon rather than a rubber spatula, because you're going to need something to give it some resistance here. So you see it's a really thick batter. And just keep mixing it until it gets incorporated. And we're going to cook this in a 350-degree oven. Cookies take about 12 to 15 minutes. Again, it depends on your oven. Now, honestly, I like to use a convection oven for baking because I find that it works better. If you do have a convection oven, it's going to, you're going to want to set it at 325. Convection, you cook at a slightly lower temperature because the air blowing around makes it hotter inside. So there you go. You see we've got all that popcorn mixed in there. Now, if you think there isn't enough popcorn in there, you just watch what we're going to do. Right. This is my cookie tray here, and I have lined it with a piece of parchment paper. If you don't have parchment paper, you can, of course, just grease this cookie tray as you like. Parchment paper is great. It makes for such an easy cleanup, and it keeps the bottoms of things from getting too hot and burning. This is a cookie scoop. Again, if you don't have a cookie scoop, you can just use a tablespoon or, whatever size cookies you want. Now, remember I told you I saved some of that popcorn here. So we're going to take a scoop of cookie here, like this, and we're going to take it and we're going to stick it right there in that popcorn, and we're going to roll it around a little bit. At first I was worried that the popcorn would burn in the oven, but it doesn't. It just kind of gets a really nice brown on it. So let's do that again. And like I said, if you didn't like Heath Bar, you could put chips in here, chocolate chips. You could put butterscotch chips. You could put, I don't know, raisins. People do make, I don't know that this would work so well with potato chips when you break them down, but you could try it. Get them all in here. They don't spread a lot, so you don't have to keep them hugely far apart. And just get those bits of potato chip, pretzel popcorn on top. Pretzels would be really good in this. Yep, at first, as I said, I didn't know what to call these, and my kids said, "Mom, those cookies are outrageous." So that's where we are. So cookies are ready to go in the oven. We're going to put them in the oven. We're going to cook them for, like I said, for about 12 to 15 minutes until they're brown and look done, and we'll see what we got, okay? Okay, so our cookies are done. They'll need to cool for about a minute on the tray, and then you can take them off and cool them on a cooling rack. And that's going to do it for us today here at the Ingles table. Remember, you can find tips, tricks, videos, and more on this great website, inglestable.com. Until next time, I'll see you online.